Hello, everyone.
Way.
Oh, he's done something. What's he doing?
Way.
What?
Uh,
Hello, everyone. It's been a week in which Piers Morgan cancelled the cancellings, Musk got permission to carry on tweeting, Amber Heard launched the Me Poo movement, and millions of monkeys were stolen by hackers. That sounds like a fun one. Welcome to the Lager and Ideology podcast, everyone. Ruben, just us today. What are you drinking?
I got Hansa Mango IPA. Wait, hang on.
Oh yeah, right. That's
Way. And I got
when I
some
uh, when I come to visit, I
some more
expect
of
some of
this.
those, some of your soju.
Well, that's got it's on its last legs, the soju, but it's
Well, as you can see, I'm in the university office. I got some cheap student beers from the student union just before this. Um, so
you say they're cheap, but it's actually really expensive in there.
actually, it was £6.70 for four. So yeah,
Fuck me.
premium premium prices for today's students. But yeah, it's actually quite fun to be in my office with a beer. It feels a bit subversive. And I've got this cup that you guys bought me when you were way
Yeah.
back when you were
We
students.
we thought that was really funny at the time. The gamer at work shit. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, it serves its purpose. The cup gets used. So I'm well into my first beer already. Perfect.
I'm not.
No, I just took a sip, but it seemed like it was half a pint of sip apparently.
It's pretty
Anyway,
good.
it's been a day of work, so I deserve it. Right, yeah, some really stupid topics, as well as a few semi-serious. But you know, this. I mean, I can't wait to get onto this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp madness. But that's for later. Keep listening, everyone. We'll start off with we covered it last week, but you know it hadn't happened last week, so we were just ahead of the curve again. But you know, Elon Musk taking over, buying Twitter. But I think what we want to talk about is not so much that itself, because you know a friend of mine commented, and I totally agree that all the chat and discourse around this is just insanely boring. But it's the way people have responded to it. It's quite funny and worth
Well,
talking
yeah, I
about.
mean
The way
that's why I
people,
said we should talk about it. It's because watching the Twitter, I called them Twitter liberals, and I clarified Twitter Democrat voters go ballistic. It's funny.
yeah. So
That's
what? So
funny.
tell us then, what have you been seeing? What have you perceived like in
Well,
the attitudes of these Dems?
just very cringy stuff like Twitter is only going to be a free speech platform for a bit longer, or I'm going to deactivate my Twitter account soon or in a few hours because this is so bad, and I don't know.
And obviously, very little. I mean, very little
Yeah, very
changes
little's going to
one
change.
billionaire to another. I mean, so I mean, there was some people on the sort of so-called socialist left have even
Hmm.
been saying things like this. I mean, you know, for example, this guy Nathan Robinson, he's a bit of a character to be honest. He's an American wealthy magazine owner who sort of pretends to be a British aristocrat,
Hmm.
but you know, he tweeted saying, "Remember that once Elon Musk owns Twitter." Every tweet you send is performing free labor for him and using your personal
Yeah, I
footprint to
saw that.
increase his wealth.
Yeah,
When you write a popular tweet, you're a writer offering revenue driving content to the world's richest man for free. Now, obviously, it's true, but it's
it is
also
true.
one of the stupidest things to say because
Well,
it's
because
that's
it was previously owned by a Saudi prince or some shit. So like,
well, exactly the guy, the woke Bay Saudi prince who tried to
hmm
block it. But you know, this is a silly comment, not because it's accurate. Obviously, we do live in a world where your free labor is being totally harvested by corporations, but there's nothing unique about Elon Musk in that. That's just like how the entirety of social media functions.
hmm
So, like, people treating this as some kind of dystopia where the rich are really, you know, and like we said last week, it's not that, is it? I mean, if anything, he's more, at least he's weirder than just Saudi money or whatever it
hmm
is.
Well, there's also other people though. Oh my God, the world needs less of George Soros and more of Elon Musk. Am I right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
we said it last week, didn't we? I mean, if you have to, I mean, I wouldn't say the world needs more of Elon Musk, but if you have to live in a sort of evil capitalist dystopia where your society's run entirely by the 1%, you
Hmm.
know, Elon Musk is at least a kind of a laugh and a bit nuts.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got Ben Shapiro tweeting
What's he said?
Here's what Musk should do: Truth and Reconciliation Commission revealing past manipulation, algorithmic transparency, and fire a lot of people. The last is the most crucial. If you leave in place the woke progressives who control implementation, leadership matters little. And I don't know. I just sort of find anyone talking about it in a way that isn't the way we do, which is just Elon Musk owning Twitter is funny. Anyone that's not saying that, I don't care. Boring, cringe. You're being cringy.
Well, I mean, I think we'll get onto it in the
Just
next
say it's
topic,
funny.
actually, like the kind of Shapiro thing, but the way in which this is used for the sort of anti-woke brigades, I think that's quite interesting. But we'll get onto that with the next topic, I think. For this one, though, Ruben and I actually did a bit of primary research today into the mechanisms of social media. Let's not forget about that. So we saw some tweets saying, leaving Twitter, this is enough's enough. Time to rebel against the internet and leave Twitter and join a platform which we tried out today called Mastodon.
Yep. It was like a shit Discord.
I noticed actually the Twitter account for Mastodon has got a lot more followers than it did even this morning when we checked, which shows that people are not migrating to Mastodon. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we just thought we'd give it a try. The actual mission statement, it's kind of fair enough. It's like it says that it's crowdsourced, it's open access, it's there's nothing wrong with that. Decentralized social network built on open web standards. It's not for profit and so on. So, I thought we'll click on it and see, are there loads of social networking alternatives that are just sort of, waiting for us to migrate to? But
there isn't.
It was shite.
Yeah, it was really boring. It's broken down into all these communities, and you join a community in the same way you join a Discord server. And you then once you're in that, though, you have to follow people in the community, but there's no way of naturally discovering people in the community. You just have to follow them. You have to click on them, see whatever they've said, and follow them.
Yeah,
so,
and then
that way, I'd rather go on Discord, where it's just you join it, and then there's just people talking about shit all over the place.
Well, that's exactly what struck me was the few hours on it on the train today was that it kind of looks like Discord. It's structured like Discord, but it doesn't have any of the controversy. So if you're on Discord, it only takes you like 5 or 6 minutes before you wade into some kind of
a neo-Nazi server or like pedophiles or something.
Yeah, or that's the sort of more depressing end of it, I suppose. But also just like general political controversial debates. It's just everywhere. You can't really avoid it. It's all sort of debate and controversy. Whereas I spent like 1 hour looking for something sort of spicy and couldn't find anything. It was like completely innocent and completely sort of mundane content, real normie stuff.
Really, yeah, and that's fine. That's cute. They're doing their thing. It looked like they're just all these nice people and their nice little community, and they're like game devs or artists or some shit. It's all very like cutesy little communities. But
yeah. There was one that was like
it's not really a contender though, is it, against like Twitter in terms of the chaos that Twitter offers? Not that I really enjoy Twitter or anything. I try not to use it too much.
No, well, I wonder, I mean, the thing is, if users really did start migrating, I mean, they're tweeting saying we're observing an influx of 41,000 users today. If this did start filling up with people, I wonder how long it would be before some, sort of Chan bros got in there and turned it into a...
It won't be long at all. It won't be long at all now because of the tweets about it. It will be soon, even, I imagine, that they'll get involved and start just ruining it in the way they do.
But yeah, so we'll only be talking, Ruben, we'll be communicating only on Mastodon.
From now on.
Yeah.
No more WhatsApp. I mean, really, we shouldn't even use WhatsApp because of bloody Zuckerberg. But, that's what you're going to do.
Our listeners should join us on the Mastodon. Something with the name isn't right as well, but
yeah, I don't think it's too many syllables.
Yeah, Mastodon. It's not. And the picture is a little elephant.
Yeah.
A little elephant.
I can't say I thought it was much good. And still, I thought I'd have more to complain about in terms of the cringy tweets I've seen. But
yeah,
I don't know, because then I just sort of soften to it, and I end up just thinking, I don't even care. I don't
I
even
think, but
fucking
I
care.
think yeah, like you said. I mean, like you said,
I think
anything
I
other
think
than
his
offensive humour.
fanboys are embarrassing, saying that he's like the father of free speech, or he's gonna save free speech. But
Well, this is. I mean, this is one thing. I mean, obviously, I don't at all agree with that. But it is a
then,
depressing situation that you're actually you're actually hoping that just some billionaire's madness is the only thing that you can cling to for like the hope of a democratic and sort of
mm,
free platform. So I do kind of get that. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think people are so you know yeah, people are so sort of concerned that there is no kind of free speech anymore whatsoever.
mm,
And then you get the kind of Ben Shapiro types trying to harness that and saying, right, because there's a lack of free speech, it therefore follows we need to be racists or nationalists or whatever, because they're the ones brave enough. Yeah,
traditionalists.
exactly. Yeah, which
If
is
only we
stupid.
had Charlie here, I'm sure he'd have something to say, something inflammatory, and
Yeah, right. I mean, but I suppose I'm almost like inflaming myself because yeah, well, I think that we have a problem here that it's only ends up being the right and these kind of people that have something
oh,
to say to
I've
defend the
just remembered
concept.
something essential that I want to say about Mastodon, which is that they say that you can only have a community on Mastodon if you are actively policing
Yeah.
against homophobia, racism, and something else. And I just immediately find stuff like that. Yeah, it was racism, sexism, and transphobia. We only as
Well, look, I
communities
mean,
that are
not
committed to
that
active moderation against that.
w-
And
we should be clear to our listeners that yeah, we're not pro those things, but also that's exactly what we were saying. This space strikes you as being heavily policed and empty
well,
of
I just
positive.
it just sort of, I don't know, defeats the object of any conversation, because while I don't like the idea, I don't really like when people do that. No, they should be allowed to say. I don't know. You should be allowed to say something, but you should also expect other people to say "shut the fuck up" straight after if they have a problem with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel about it. And not that you shut them down completely or you alienate them or isolate them. It's you're meant if you publicly fucking ridicule them, then
Well,
it's
yeah.
likely other people will be like, oh yeah, that was pretty stupid, wasn't it?
I think this connects up all the points really. I mean, so what you're getting is you're getting people on the right who actually want to articulate some kind of racist views or something. They use the free speech thing to say, look, we're being policed. We need to speak our mind. We should be allowed to say these things, right? But then,
Yeah,
so
you should be allowed, but
that's really fair. But then
expect to be
the
attacked
liberal
after.
attitude, yeah, the liberal attitude of the Twitter Dems and stuff, that basically these things shouldn't be said and should be policed out, moderated out, the logic of Mastodon or whatever, is that's actually helping that problem, isn't it? Because it's creating a massive divide there, where basically if you feel your views can't be aired or your conversations can't be had, that's just going to send you off to 4chan or watching Ben Shapiro all the time because you feel like that's the only place where you can find a community that want to speak in those terms, right? So, you know, but what I'm trying to say, I suppose, is that by policing what people can say on social media platforms, you're turning people into right wing traditionalists.
hmm Well, and then they just get pushed to weird corners, weird echo chambers, and they go down the pipeline. Beware the alt right pipeline, because you'll end up a femboy or something. Is a like joke. You'll end up a cross dresser, or well, there's anything wrong with that. But I suppose it's like it's
What, like it's
funny
a
when
kind
it's
of a
alt right
gateway
guys.
drug?
Yeah, it's a gateway to being the alt right pipeline. The sort of joke is that you'll end up being like a knee sock, skirt wearing guy who's convinced he's straight, but is definitely like gay, or just I don't know. There's all sorts to unpack there. Charlie would probably have a better fucking way of like expressing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I suppose just we're not saying anything particularly detailed or controversial or interesting, but clearly this Musk thing does flare up the
No,
broader picture.
it's funny. It's funny. I'm sure Twitter will probably not get any worse.
Yeah, I probably won't. But I hope that Twitter becomes more edgy right, and even more, yeah, more edgy, let's say,
Yeah, I mean,
because
because
hopefully
Twitter, you go to the right places. Twitter is quite edgy. There are
yeah,
neo-Nazi communities and stuff like that. They are out there. I've communicated with a neo-Nazi before. It was bizarre. They were a fan of Jar Media, and they messaged me
all right.
to say how they liked the channel, but kind of thing.
And
It was
what was
really
their
bizarre.
purpose? What was the point? What did they want to say? They like the
I
channel, but get
I
off it.
I don't really remember. Is the thing. I don't really remember. I I just sort of said to them, look, that's great, but I disagree with just about everything you seem to represent. So
Yeah, no, but I'm not saying I want Twitter to be flooded with Nazis, mate. I'm
no,
saying
no, it's
that.
already kind of edgy. It's already kind of edgy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think
well,
there's already
yeah,
quite a bit of edge there. You just got to know
yeah,
where to look. And well, that's the thing. That won't change because a lot of those people, it's like no one's going to find them because they keep themselves quite, you know, closed in.
yeah.
It's a weird little.
But I've got to mention one more, that tweet. I don't know if you saw it because we have a mutual colleague who tweeted about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, but that one that somebody had tweeted about. Here it is. She says, "I do not give Elon Musk or any entities associated with Twitter permission to use my pictures, information, messages, or posts, both past and future. If you do not publish a statement at least once, it will be tactically allowed to the use of your info. Do not share, copy, and paste."
How has she fallen for like the kind of thing that you would see on Facebook 10
No,
years ago?
but
More than 10
it's
years
funny you
ago.
should say that because a lot of the comments. I mean, it is one of the best things that happened on Twitter today. So let me first of all say she is definitely joking. It's definitely a joke, and
Okay, it
she
is
was
a joke. Good.
she's making a joke about, as you said,
Yeah.
10 years ago Facebook. She's making a
Yeah,
joke.
I was sort of hopeful, and then I thought,
Yeah.
maybe not though, because you do see some real pillocks. So I was like,
Well, no,
maybe
but
maybe
this is
they
the thing,
are just
Ruben.
wrong.
This is the thing. It's got 7,000 likes and 1,200 quote tweets. If you click through to these quote tweets, oh my god! I mean, basically, it's
Yeah,
about one
millions then.
in I would say 1 in 100 has realised it's a joke.
Well,
Uh,
the only people who are responding are people who,
well, yeah. I
yeah.
suppose if you notice that and you just see it and think that's funny, you just chuckle and move on.
Mm.
Whereas, yeah, but I mean, it's so. But lots of people making the same point as you. It's Facebook time on Twitter. It's Facebook 2012. But obviously, that is the joke she's making. But I thought there was something sort of wildly genius about this tweet because it's actually forcing people to reflect on how much our understanding of the internet has changed in the last 10 years, like since you used to see that shit. Like obviously that shit was always bullshit, but now you are in a different era where nobody would think that you can escape. 10 years ago when you used to see that, some people thought there were ways to escape this kind of like, tacit complicity in platform companies and capitalism. But now we all just think it's ridiculous to even try. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of thought the tweet was the only perfect thing to say about Elon Musk. So, fair play to
And on that note, we have
Bria
to move on because we have less time
Stanton.
than ever.
Yeah, but people should follow her. We should give her that. Yeah, we have less time there, but yeah. No, okay, next. Yeah, so one more sort of semi-serious before we get on to the fun stuff. No, I
Which
thought we
one
should
is it?
talk about this. Go on, what were you saying?
No, I don't know. Which one is it? Which one is it? I'm not sure which
Oh,
ones you'd classify as serious and not serious.
well, I don't know, they're all a bit nonsense, aren't they? But yeah, there's this new TV channel. Piers Morgan interviewed Donald Trump on TalkTV. Right, so TalkTV is
And
going to
no
be
one spoke about it at all. No one cared.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I thought it was going to be quite big.
Haven't seen any
But
of
I
it, to
don't
be
know.
fair.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, so it's basically Jeremy Carl's on there, mate. Sharon Osbourne, Piers Morgan, 200,000 followers. It's got on the old Twitter there, which is a few more than us, unfortunately. Shouldn't be the case. Should be the other way around, really. But yeah, and so what? Tom Newton Dunn's on there. So it's a new channel. It's quite. I mean, I read some reviews saying it had good production. I think they were comparing it to GB News, which was like worse than our production. But still, It doesn't. I mean, it looks pretty jarred to me, looking at the clips and the stuff that's
It's
gone on
called
TalkTV.
TalkTV. That's ridiculous.
but basically, it's again this free speech stuff. It's 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 Breitbart. It's Britain's Breitbart. It's yeah. I mean, Farage is GB News, isn't it? They've
This
got
is real free speech, except we clearly lean towards the right wing, and
yeah,
anyone who comes on
exactly.
here who is on the left wing will be ridiculed, and
Well, this is
inherently
the
there's a
thing, and
massive power dynamic preventing them from really saying anything, because all the producers will be trying to make a spicy little right wing show. So it's fucking ridiculous to call it real free speech. The principle of something like the BBC could be free speech, but then in practice it's shit. So
yeah,
Twitter. Twitter's probably fuck it.
totally. I mean, look,
Elon Musk has got it down. He's got it.
well, look, this is what I thought was the same before, and Piers Morgan, when he was asked to describe the channel, he said the channel would cancel culture. Now, so here's my position. See if you agree. I think this is a tragedy, not because I don't think this is a tragedy because it's suddenly going to embolden all these people in Essex to put up a St George's Cross and vote for Brexit 5 or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. I think the tragedy here is that the only people defending free speech and the only people who are criticizing cancel culture are basically racists and homophobes or people with a traditionalist right agenda. But,
Yeah.
the point is that the left, or whatever you want to call it, people who are socialists, people who are progressives, people who are left wing, people who are just nice people, should also be criticizing.
That's right. If you're on the right
and,
wing, if you're even slightly right wing, you heard it here first. You're not a nice person. You're not nice. Charlie, who's going to be
Yeah.
on maybe, I don't know when
Charlie's-
he'll be next on, maybe
yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
he's
we
got-
didn't even say he's not here. He's got an exam.
He's got his exams. Yeah,
He's busy.
He'll be back.
But
We
he'll
can
be
have
back.
a sort of as we take over the world instead of Talk TV. We can have a sort of rotating cast of
Yeah.
people.
We have
with great
our like
views.
funny right wing
No, yeah.
traditionalist guy come in. Our
Yeah.
right wing traditionalist, you have to work out every day or you'll perish kind of guy.
No, but I do genuinely think this is fucked, and a serious issue. I'm not saying every person yeah, I am saying every person, but I'm saying people, it should be a default position to be
Yeah.
anti-cancel culture and pro-free speech. That should not be. But it's just mad that we live in a world where basically the only people really saying those things, apart from Elon Musk, are like
J.K. Rowling,
yeah,
Piers Morgan.
Yeah, exactly. They're all sort of. Well, that's what I'm saying. Out of that bunch, Musk is the least bad because at least he's not an actual racist, transphobic arse.
But
he's just a sort of capitalist.
Yeah, he's a capitalist. So that's like people say, well, he is making African children mine cobalt, and it's like, yeah, well, so's Bill fucking Gates and all that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
you seem to love when he writes an article about COVID and how it's
but this is the thing. I mean, the other capitalists aren't taking up arms in the free speech debate at all.
No.
But anyway, I'm no fan of Elon Musk at all, and nor of any the sort of 1% owning the platforms of production.
Also, interesting observation I made earlier. Elon Musk, right sort of libertarian type, pretends to be anyway. And then Elon Musk's fans are all freedom of speech kind of, yes, democracy, yes, kind of people. Hate the corporations, but only certain corporations are bad. But then the Tesla, you can't do it. Tesla can just deactivate your Tesla if you don't do certain things with it, and that's not very libertarian, is it? At its core. I mean, it's like that debate of, the government should have involvement in some things because you should legally be able to prove you can drive a car about killing people. It's kind of like that, but other people would say, no, libertarianism. You don't need to prove shit to the government. So weird little dissonance there between Elon Musk, who positions himself as freedom of speech libertarian, and Elon Musk can disable your Tesla if you don't do what he says.
Clearly, there's going to be
not that I believe he's going to disable your Tesla.
No. But clearly you're right, and it's the same with that kind of hypocrisy is present again across the board. When Mark Zuckerberg talks about protecting your interests and privacy at the same time exploiting it, ideology and the things people say have got pretty much nothing to do with the things they do. So you can pick a capitalist, and whenever they, it's the same for you know, I don't know, a gas company talking about sustainability. You know,
Hmm.
there's two different things. There's this kind of ideology over the top, and there's what's actually happening. You know, but I don't think Elon Musk is. Yeah, so I agree with you. You know, clearly the companies do not function in a libertarian way, nor should they. I mean, I'm not.
No, no,
I'm being a
I'm just
libertarian.
pointing out that the silly sort of contradictions of it all, and but that's a perfectly natural thing to occur, I think, with human beings anyway, is that we're going to be massively contradictory all the time because it's just what they
Yeah,
do. This is what we do.
yeah. I mean, yeah, contradictory. Yeah, yeah. Libertarian, not
No,
necessarily.
no, libertarian,
Good
bit silly.
strong rules, mate. Good strong government with good strong rules, and people just following them. That's what we need. Bit of uniformity.
So you'd be a Templar, would you, in the Assassin's Creed series?
Yeah,
You'd be
probably.
the primary antagonists of the Assassin's Creed series.
I wouldn't be the fucking animus developer, like
Well, I suppose
whatever
that's
Musk
actually
is.
worse, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Really, what the Assassins? Well, then the Animus developer is the Templars in the end. That's how
Right.
the story
Okay.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, okay. I prefer the past to the future.
yeah.
Put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's roll on to the next topic
We're
because
rolling straight
we've
on because
already nailed free speech, so there's just
yeah,
no point
we
saying
fuck it,
anything else
carry on.
about
That
that,
was
really.
TalkTV. Yeah. What's the next one? Free
uh,
speech, get rid of it. What else did we say today? Elon
no,
Musk,
we want that,
God
don't
Emperor Musk.
we?
I'm just chatting shit at this point. And then,
I'm
so what do you want to
still
do next? You want
stupid.
to
Yeah, let's do
do
me too, mate.
Me Poo? We want to do Me Poo. Yeah. Well, as you know, Johnny Depp, as I'm sure you all know, Johnny Depp has been in the news because of his ongoing, very public legal battle with Amber Heard, who is clearly an abuser in this scenario. Yeah, my teeth they look weird.
Yours,
Weird.
mine.
Yeah, no, my teeth. They're weird.
Mine, they're quite white. Yours are quite white.
Yeah,
Mine are quite
I think
white.
just worry I
Yeah,
got like
I
Tom
got
Cruise
one.
teeth where the front ones are off center.
I've got a
Nah,
one,
alright.
one out
I
of
got it.
place one.
I got that one. Fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For people who are listening, which is probably like two of you, maybe. Just got one bad
no.
tooth.
Although apparently, Pete, did you see that marketing email we got from Russia that was
No.
like your
Oh
podcast
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
top
yeah, yeah,
10 of Russia? So I don't think
yeah.
it is, guys.
Mm.
Uh,
But yeah, so Johnny Depp, poor guy, poor little guy, being abused out there by Amber Heard, and him losing a bunch of roles, and all the studios taking her side because it's easier to just believe that a man would be the villain in more or less any given scenario like that. Um, yeah,
yeah, there's
in
a
any
full
sort of
summary
abuse
there.
case. Yeah, that's
Well,
more or
yeah.
less it. And then it's carried on for several years, like 4 years now, I think, of this, and now it's looking like Johnny Depp actually has swayed public opinion or educated the public on it because it seems quite clear to me
I don't know.
who the true
I
villain
wouldn't. I
is.
wouldn't. I'd say public opinion was fairly negative towards both of them on this.
Okay.
But well, yeah. I mean,
I mean, she did cut his finger off. I think if a man had cut a woman's finger off, that would be it for him, forever, over, done.
did she do it? What? So I don't know that bit. What did she do it with?
It was broken bottle or something. She did something with a broken bottle, and it severed his finger.
I mean, I'll come to my serious points as well because I do think I've got a point. But um, what I wanted to say was two things. Two things I want to talk about. One was the jokes, the Monty Python jokes. I don't know if you read about this, but basically
No.
one of the things was that Johnny Depp, one of her accusations was that there was some text messages between Johnny Depp and his mate, some British actor, where Johnny had said,
Was Paul? No,
yeah,
was it Paul Bettany?
yes, it was,
Yeah.
yeah, Depp
Because
had said,
they're coke fiends, the pair of them.
oh right, yeah, yeah, yeah. He'd said anyway. It was, the joke was like, burn her, but drown her first. Make sure she's dead. This kind of thing. But it was basically word for word like a Monty Python script. That where like they basically say that how will we know that how will we know if they're dead, whatever. And so clearly they were exchanging this kind of like actors banter of like yeah. I mean, yes, they clearly were being very negative towards Amber Heard, like she's the butt of the joke, but it's like a kind of
But
back and forth between two actory types who know the history of acting and joke about it. You know, it's,
yeah, and she did cut his finger off and shit in his bed.
I was going to come to the shit.
No, you can't. I've jumped the gun. I mean,
But
I'm sure everyone knows at this by this. By the
yeah,
time this episode
right.
comes out, everyone will know.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, it sort of disappeared. The Me Poo thing. It was like
I saw a picture of it. Actually,
flying
someone sent
yesterday.
me a picture of it on Discord.
The actual turd.
The actual turd.
I saw just like memes with like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, like with that big pile of shit or whatever.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the turd.
All right, hold on.
You can actually click. You can actually click share, and then I can just bring it in so people can have a little look as well.
We probably shouldn't put it on the video. I think that might cause some problems to put the shit on the video, and then I'd have to
Right.
go in and censor it. Yeah, I don't know if YouTube would like us putting that on there.
Well,
That's
let's
what I'm
see.
thinking. I'll send you it.
Oh, it's coming by the. All right, everybody, you've got to go to your phone.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, everyone. You're gonna have to find it of your own volition.
Anyway,
That's a
listen,
nice
I'm
picture.
going to carry on talking because
Yeah.
I'll have a look at the turd. But yeah, I was going to say I thought it was funny, you know, the Monty Python thing. But it had been used by her lawyers and by some of her supporters on social media, and saying, look, this is how threatening he was. He threatened to kill her, he threatened to drown her, and he threatened to. It was actually like it was making it worse, and he threatened to burn her. You know, so it's like, hang on a minute, like you can't say that.
But she actually
it makes
did
it
a
less
number of things
bad.
to him, and also it's
Then my
I
point
just
is, if you say to someone, "I'm going to drown you," right? You answer this question: which is worse, threatening to drown someone, threatening to burn someone, or threatening to do both? Which is the least bad of those three, in your opinion?
the least bad.
Yeah, which is the least threatening?
The least threatening would probably
Burn,
be.
drown, or both?
Least threatening is probably the drowned. Burn
Do you
seems
reckon?
more unpleasant. Yeah.
I think least threatening is both, because if you say to me, "I'm going to drown you," you know, or "I'm going to burn you," I think, okay, a threat. If you say, "I'm going to drown and burn you," I think, come on. I don't know. I think it shows that it's a joke. Anyway, my point is, it was clearly a joke, a kind of literary actors back and forth, not a genuine threat to kill. And the fact that it was taken as that is completely stupid.
Well, yeah, but her lawyers are desperately clinging on to anything at this point because his case is quite a bit stronger than hers is, from what I can see.
There is the poo as well, which doesn't help her case.
The severed finger, all the audio, you know, all the recordings of her. Like,
yeah. I mean, there was a bad recording of him. Oh no, it was of her saying, "Don't put your cigarette out on me" or something. Put your cigarette out on someone else. But that, you don't know, do you? Yeah, I'm not going to start defending, saying he's done no wrongdoing. But
I reckon she's the real villain. The big.
I do suspect. Yeah, I don't know if there is a villain. I think. Do you know what I think? And this is what I was going to come to with what the therapist said. The therapist said they both mutually engaged in a practice that could be considered abusive pretty much all of the time. And that's what I basically think. I think this is nonsense. You know, what's changed here? I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds like an unhealthy relationship. I wouldn't. If there was a turd on my bed, that would be the last straw.
Yeah, well, I reckon the severed finger probably would be enough for me, actually. If I had to have my finger reattached at the hospital, I might be a bit
But
like...
even if it was Amber Heard that you were going out
with? Even if it was Amber Heard, yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
But I'd be more likely to forgive the finger than the turd, because you know somebody could in a moment of madness just accidentally
throw a bottle. I think she threw it at him or something and it broke in it. Or some glass. It was but the shit on the bed takes real, like, you know, there's a lot of barriers to push through before you actually do shit on someone's bed.
I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't forgive it.
Yeah, there are a number of barriers to push through before you shit on someone's bed, actually. So yeah, I don't think I could forgive that either.
So yeah, but anyway, my point is simply that I think this stuff, you know, should not be out in the open. And this is not me saying that Me Too is the end of Me Too. Me Poo is the end of Me Too. But maybe it is. Maybe actually that is what I'm saying. I think that, you know,
you just pick out the most accidentally, like, inflammatory thing you've said and just say, yeah, fuck it, that's what I'm saying. You just say it, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'll say anything, me. I think this is a good point, to be honest, which is why I suggested it as a topic. I think that this joke, Me Poo, the way that was circulating, was a joke about Amber Heard taking a shit in Johnny Depp's bed, but it's also a joke about how the discourse has changed around Me Too and stuff. And this case clearly is a case of two people who very public personalities who had a toxic and perhaps violent relationship that they shouldn't have been in, but it's not the business of the public to condemn and cancel either party in this. So that kind of casts a bit of shadow back onto the Me Too movement.
There are some very funny clips, though, from the trial of Johnny Depp being quite funny. Which, I mean, maybe it shouldn't. Maybe legal proceedings shouldn't be made a mockery of. But then again, in the US, perhaps they should be because they are so ridiculous.
No, it's interesting. I was really enjoying reading.
Did you see any of the things he said about the mega pint, where she claims that he poured himself a mega pint of wine, and he's asked what's a mega pint, and he just kind of smirks, says some bollocks. It's funny. I don't know. I'm enjoying watching him just be funny through it.
That is funny, and I mean that's Sam Allardyce, do you know that pint of wine thing? The English football manager. He was England manager for
I know Sam Allardyce, but
he was pictured there's this picture of him at a dinner party, and everyone else is just sipping a glass or a small bottle of beer, and he's drinking a pint of wine.
What the fuck else have we got for this?
For what, this topic? No, I think I've made a good point. It's been
no, for this whole podcast, because I was trying to think, have I got anything more to say on Johnny Depp other than I'm Team Depp. I'm Team Depp. I'm Team Musk.
I'm Team culture needs. I'm not saying the whole of Me Too was rubbish. I'm not saying that. I think the first part of Me Too is incredibly important and necessary. What sometimes people call Me Too too is the phase that followed. All those big the phase that followed.
First, second, and third wave feminism is sort of like that.
Right. We're on Me Poo is third wave Me Too because we have Me Too, which was look. This is a proper take here. We have Me Too, which was a really important movement, which was absolutely necessary and needed, and vitally showed how much kind of serious systemic abuse there was. Then you had Me Too 2, where basically every little microaggression was reported as a major domestic incident. And now you've got Me Poo, where clearly we're seeing that Me Too 2 wasn't right. We've gone through that sort of system and come out the other end, where relationships are really complicated and full of inconsistencies. And it's not just a simple story of, X did this bad thing against Y and it's punishable by cancellation, or by pain of social shaming or whatever we do these days. So I actually do think Me Poo, the phrase, as well as the incident, kind of takes us full cycle on this kind of movement. And, maybe hopefully gives people a sense that things are a bit more complicated than often seems the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, humans are always massively contradictory. And they're not like, human beings are full of plot holes. We're not a really well put together, perfect screenplay. We're not characters with some brilliant character arc, and at the end we're something that's really poetic or cinematic in some fucking way. We're not that. So.
Oh, we're not. No, we're not.
Are you not? Are you? I mean, are you? Do you think you are?
No, I don't. I don't know. No.
When are you going to get on a plane to Norway then?
I don't know, but make sure there's some of that mango IPA ready when I get there.
They're fucking everywhere. They're a huge deal. This is Norwegian lad culture drink here.
Get those people, I need to get somebody to invite me to a talk there so I can get my flights paid for by someone else that isn't me. Listen, there's one more topic, mate.
Of Oslo Met, got them all.
Yeah. One of those people. One more topic, one more beer.
This
I'm
one.
ready.
This is one. Did I find this one?
Oh yeah, this is fun. This one.
Yeah. So the NFT, the Bored Ape Club, Bored Ape Yacht
Yeah,
Club.
Bored Ape. Bored Ape. It's
Yeah,
like what is
something
it?
to
It's like a branding thing.
Yeah, I think it's. I happened to learn about it. I'm pretty sure it was a series of 10,000 fucking NFTs that were minted at some point, and they're quite rare and valuable in the NFT world. They all look shit, and there are three especially rare kinds. I think there's the I don't know. There's zombie, alien, and something else. I don't remember. Those are the rarest ones. And I don't know. Cunts own them, or that kind of thing.
If there's been one NFT collection that's truly defined the trend, it's Bored
Yeah,
Ape Yacht Club, an
Bored Ape
exclusive
Yacht Club.
collection of 10,000 unique apes with trendy outfits
Yep.
living on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yep. And I guess the main thing is that some hackers got into the Discord server and was it the Instagram or Twitter account?
I
I
think it's
can't.
Instagram.
The Instagram account, they hacked the Bored Ape Yacht Club accounts of both of those things, and then sent messages out to users or whatever, or follow, who had just I guess just people in it, to tell them, there's a new mint happening of more, and or there's some kind of a land sale or a land grab. I don't know. The point is, it made them think that they could make more money or get more from what they had, and so it was click on the link, link your fucking wallets, and people did. Some people did, and then they had the Bored Apes stolen from them by the hackers.
So these fucking monkeys
Yeah.
got.
So I don't know. I'm sort of glad to see it because I think if you're fucking stupid enough to have done that, then you deserved it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and do you know what? Okay, I've got a serious position on this as well. I've been thinking about it all
Right.
day.
Okay.
This is
I've
brilliant.
not.
This is brilliant. Yeah, great story. Kudos to you, Ruben, for getting it because what NFTs are. Here's the whole history of NFTs in one sentence. What
Yeah.
NFTs are is an attempt to introduce scarcity back into something that is not scarce. So one
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
things that is interesting about the digital world, the internet, one of its great sort of pioneering things was that we could potentially have a kind of commons where resources are not finite anymore. There's actually an infinite. The
Mm,
resource is infinite, and that was the
mm,
digital revolution. And it had before all of this corporate shutdown, it had great potential to produce new forms of thinking that weren't based on scarcity. Well, obviously, what NFTs do is reintroduce scarcity and say we're gonna because we're corporate overlords, we're gonna build this system where even the thing that should be infinite and everyone should be able to share it in a bountiful way now has to be sort of valued and made into a scarce product, a rare
mm.
whatever Bored Apes were. So the hack shows that the digital will always fight back against this kind of attempt to shut it down into
Yeah,
this
the NFT thing. While I think that the idea of NFTs will unfortunately persist, or the idea of sort of like digital ownership or some kind of digital ownership. I mean, I was speaking to a guy about it, and he was saying, I think it's good for the idea of property contracts. You store those, and it really is like this is the contract for your apartment that you own. It exists here digitally, and there's nothing that can be done to fuck around with it. No, yeah. And he was saying, I think it's good for that kind of thing, has potential there in the future. But right now, the NFT thing is just sort of embarrassing and awful. Um,
Yeah, no,
so
I'm not saying that. I met an
it's
artist.
like artwork,
Yeah,
trading artwork to launder money and how it doesn't even mean anything. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like artwork, priceless artwork, isn't valued because of uh, its beauty or its cultural impact. Even it's just like a way for ludicrously wealthy people to launder their money or
yeah, and I mean the art kind
buy
of
children.
the art thing's relevant.
Satanic pedophiles, Alfie. It's fucking satanic pedophiles every
They're
time.
out there. They're out there. Um, the art world is relevant there. What digital art did quite differently was some interesting digital art. Combating against that kind of valuable corporate trade of art world. So there's sort of a whole history of the internet in all this, and it's quite right too, as you said, that these idiots should be hacked and have their monkeys taken because the whole logic
Look,
is
when
nonsense.
people were freeing slaves, slave owners having their monkeys taken as well.
I meant it more like
I can say that.
you can, and
I
I'm
can.
clarifying that I meant it more like a reflection on
I
their
just
intelligence.
I just saw an opportunity at the start of the subject. You said something about monkeys, and immediately my mind went to the wrong places with it. So
Yeah, but well, the thing is, yeah, I mean, look, it's not a topic to talk about forever. I mean, the NFT talk is boring, but I think there is something important here and something funny. With these kind of it's always good when these hacker communities kind of strike at the heart of business and corporations. And yeah, these hackers are mostly often yeah, weird types or corporate types, or look at Anonymous, for example, and how mixed up in weird kind of discourses and politics they were. But at the same time, it's good that it can still happen. So I think, yeah, the stolen monkeys are one of the things to take away from this week that is quite nice that it happens. And probably say that for all of the topics that we talked about. Would you say any of the four topics? So we've got Piers Morgan's and those bros starting a sort of slightly right wing British TV channel. We've got Musk taking over Twitter. We've got the Team Depp trial and the hacking of the monkeys. Would you say the world is better or worse for those four things? So,
unequivocally, it has improved for those
yeah,
things. I think they're either all no, pretty much all of them are funny.
I think that for ideological reasons and humor reasons, these are not none of these things. Yeah, these things have collectively improved the world, and I think each week of the Largo and Ideology podcast should conclude with us making a decision about whether
Did this
that week
improve or
has
not?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Piers Morgan channel, which I'd say is the one of these four topics that stands out to me as like possibly not a sort of net positive. But even that, I think, probably is a net positive. Like, I don't think Talk TV sounds like it's going to usher in the revolution, but it's better than the BBC, or its existence is at least an alternative to the BBC. And maybe there'll be some other TV
This is
channels.
my anyway. Do you want to see my Elon Musk face? This is
Yeah,
how Elon Musk looks. This is exactly how he looks.
that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I'm Elon Musk. I've had that one. I've had that one tucked away for years, and I forgot that I could do it until right now. I was just looking at my face, and I was like, "Oh, you can do that, yeah!" And
No,
I was
that's
in Iron Man
secret.
2. That's
Can you
where I
make a
was.
little can you make a little trailer for this one just with that?
This is my Elon Musk face. It's like show me
Go
your
on,
war face.
you've got to do that, mate. You've got to do that.
It's Full Metal Jacket. Show me your war face.
It's really good. It's a really good impression. It's very strong.
I gotta just note down when did it? 47 minutes.
No, listen. Every week now we're going to make a last call at the end whether the four events of the week have been a net positive or a net negative on the global culture of the world, and patrons will maybe get that bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this week we don't have time to actually do anything else because Alfie has things to do, so we're pressed for time.
Yeah, but they stuck with us anyway, the patrons. So thanks. And we'll be back next week, with or without Charlie, but we'll be there, won't we?
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
There.
Here, there.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
See you.